All right, folks. I'm here once again with my favorite financial guest to help us take a look at what's happening in the market, what's going to be I mean, I guess anybody can really see what's happening in the market, and it's bad. I mean, this is probably the worst we've ever been, correct? I mean, I don't even know how to even kick off this interview because things are just so grim. I just, to me, I think just prepping, just prep, get ready for the absolute worst. What do we do, Bob?
With that introduction, yeah, look, we're going into stagflation. There's no way to avoid it now, Dave. So, from my perspective, looking at it from the stock market, you have to buy things that are going to outrun inflation.
What does stagflation mean?
What's that?
What does stagflation mean exactly?
Stagflation means that you have low growth in the economy or negative growth, and you have inflation running above trend line. And so you have a situation now where inflation's probably running 15% plus, not the 5% garbage they give you. And then you have basically the economy stalling. And so if people want perspective, is you got to look at what happened in the 1970s, where you started to get all these supply shocks around energy and commodities. At the same time, you had prices rising, and then you had the economy kind of stagnating. And also we had, political turmoil then too. That's when, Nixon and Ford and Jimmy Carter were all in. Now, we had, what happened with Trump, and now we have basically Jimmy Carter reincarnated here with Biden. And so now we're in a situation where people are in a vice. So you can't get things that you want. The things that are available are expensive, and then they're trying to keep people from working in critical industries. So I think 2022 is going to be an absolute mess.
I've heard from certain people that we're entering a time way worse than the Depression was. And yeah. We're also and actually it's very bad right now with suicides, crime, everything that's happening. They're just hiding it on the media. They're not even talking about it. And with this happening, the entire military, not the entire, but a good 50 to 60% of it's exiting because they don't want to get this. So we're going to be left with basically a military in shambles. We're going to be a target. That we're entering some very rough, turbulent waters. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm a former Marine Corps officer, and so I keep my, my ear to the ground in that community, and so what the people who we're losing are the people that you don't want to lose.
Right.
We're losing the people in what we call high tech billets. Pilots are refusing to get jabbed. You have
what a better way to do this. This is, to me, they know what they're doing. This is not by an accident. This is engineered. This is to bring in what they could possibly bring in the UN at some point, because, hey, our military's in shambles. We need help.
Yeah, they're going to kneecap us. Be honest with you, I would love for the UN to come in because, no. I'll take up arms against those guys.
Okay. I was like, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they'll last approximately 30 days in the country. So, but I think they're kneecapping us. Look, I just don't get it. I mean, you have, they're trying to kneecap us with energy. They're kneecapping us with immigration. They're kneecapping us with mandates. They're kneecapping us with no vax, no work. They're kneecapping us with just skyrocketing costs. Look, the Port of Long Beach is shut down, not because of any other reason than by design. So everything they're doing is some sort of function to make us not as competitive as Europe.
It's an attack. It's an attack on America. That's what this is.
Yeah, this is the warfare that we're seeing, Dave. We're not going to see troops coming into this country. They don't have to do it. They just turned on these idiot progressives, and there's no pushback on these people.
They used the liberals as useful idiots to get their agenda done, and then now here's what's happening. Look, here we are.
Yep.
Here we are. This is scary because I know what's coming. I've understood the globalist agenda for many, many years now. And I always thought, when is the random shit that I know going to become in use? And here I am doing what I'm doing now and talking to you about what's going on in the financial market. I'll be honest, Bob, and I really want to ask you this question. What the hell can people do? Because I'm even confused. Crypto, this, that. I'm so confused on all of it. Crypto sounds like a gamble. All of it sounds like a gamble. I think we're going into a deep, deep, dark abyss. And all I'm thinking is food, water, shelter, ammo.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not wrong, but even during the Great Depression, people made a lot of money in the stock market. So look, the rich still need places to play, and so there's always going to be opportunities to trade. And so, look, right now, the best thing that you can own, bar none, is uranium. Okay, so I've been saying that, and the trade's been a beautiful trade. Is that these countries, give people an economics lesson here, is that if you can't produce enough energy or produce enough food as a country, you're no longer a country. And so now this whole climate change thing is a smokescreen because they can't afford the oil and gas. So they're trying to create these environments where we got to put renewables in so we don't have to import it. And so the only thing that really works long term for a country is nuclear power. They built all the plants, they got to put fuel in them. And so they don't care if uranium is this price or 10 times higher, they still have to pay it. So I'm in that. That's my biggest position, is in that area. My second biggest is in energy, and my third biggest position is in crypto. And the thing about crypto that you have to understand, Dave, it's basically an off-ramp out of the fiat system. And so now you have a lot of very wealthy and influential people have taken a step inside. And so you're going to get this environment where you're going to have these digital countries. And that's what I call some of these altcoins. They're going to be their own ecosystems where people are going to conduct trade. It's almost like digital bartering.
Right.
And so before people dismiss it, you need to have some of it. And in that way, you're gonna when these banks blow up, you're not subject to the bank's problems. You're kind of outside the system. It's like you're sitting on an island watching somewhere else getting blown up. And so that's what cryptos are okay to have. There's certain ones you should own, certain ones you should stay away from. But on the stock side is look, you need energy. You talk about food, water, bug out ammo kind of a thing. Well, you know what? For stock market, it's energy, energy, energy. And people need energy. It doesn't matter. And so that's where the money's going to be made. That's where it was made in the 70s. We're paralleling along those lines, Dave. And look, the Great Depression that's coming is going to be different than the Great Depression of 1929. This one's going to be, prices are going to just become out of reach for people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's how they're going to take away your beef, your chicken, your poultry.
Well, they already started.
Yeah. Oh,
so you just watch Europe. Look, Ireland's saying they're going to cut methane emissions, which means we're going to make you kill your cows and your sheep, right? Alberta, stupid Trudeau in Canada says we're no longer going to allow any new drilling leases. So we're going to kill your energy industry.
This is purpose. This is all on purpose. I mean, everyone can see this.
As long as these guys aren't affected by it. Look, I'm of the big belief, Dave, that these people are not all knowing or all powerful. I just think
I disagree. Not like people like Trudeau, but the people at the very top that are coordinating this mess. I believe this is an agenda and it's being done.
Oh no, there's no doubt. But the French aristocracy in the 1700s and 1800s, they thought they didn't see it coming either. They thought they had this thing wired. And when chaos starts, you can't control chaos. You should know that. As a boxer, once a fight starts, sometimes when something gets out of control and you lose your control of your plan, things can escalate fast. And I think that's what's going to happen here too. I don't think they're going to know where some of this stuff's going to come out of left field on them. And I think that's what we have to just kind of watch for. Look, we only have so much control, Dave, right? So you got to take care of your family first, your friends second. Make sure that, look, you got to be a good planner here. You can't be a grasshopper, right? You just can't sit there
Right.
eating the grass and watching the sun go by. You're going to have to make sure that you have plans in place. You need to have a network of friends. Your show, what you do is important to people, so that, people know that there's other people like you out there.
And I'm just trying to get the information out there, man, for people to better formulate their opinions, because we're in a rough time right now, and it's about to get a lot tougher.
Yeah, and look, we're the tougher people, okay? And I think when things will start hitting the fan, our people will rise. These other people will fold like a cheap suit, because they've been believing in narrative their whole life, and all of a sudden they can't heat their home. All of a sudden they can't go to work. I mean, I have liberal friends out here that are just beside themselves. They don't understand at all.
Nothing.
And I looked at them and said, welcome to my world. I said, we've been dealing with your crap for decades.
Yeah.
Now you get to deal with your crap, and you don't like it. I'll give you another example. My sister is a white school teacher in Virginia, and McAuliffe yesterday said he doesn't want any more white teachers. And she has a McAuliffe sign on her front lawn. And I texted her and I said, hey, what do you think of this? I said, he doesn't want you. And she's like, what do you mean? When did he say this? I said, yesterday. And I just look at them. I said, see, you don't understand the agenda. You think the Democrats are for the little people. They're not.
They are for the globalist agenda at this point. That's and a lot of them are not unwittingly about this. They're just following this liberal hijack. What I say it's communism hijacking liberalism.
Yeah, I agree. It is communism, and people don't know that once this thing's over, and if the communists take over, all those people get wiped out first, because they don't want the competition. And that's where the useful idiot comes from. Lenin coined that thing perfectly. He used all these people in the media and the intellectual, and as soon as he got into power, he rounded up the media and the artists, and he got them killed. So he wouldn't have to worry about them speaking out against him. And you can't, it's hard. You and I see this, our eyes are open, but those people's eyes are not open. They think they're doing a greater good. They have no idea that they're walking into a lobster trap.
This is scary. I've spoken to a few people that, a lot of people said that in October there was going to be a stock market crash, and now they're just kicking the can down the road. Are we looking at a stock market crash soon?
Yeah, I think what happens is we're in what's called the crack up boom phase of the market, which means that every day it goes up, and everybody's like wondering, well, when's it going to go down? And then once everybody believes that, oh, this thing's not going down anymore, then you get the crash. So we're probably, look, I think once people realize that every time they raise the amount of bonds they purchase on behalf of the government's overspending, once energy gets over $100 a barrel, then I think that's when it's going to be deep weeds. Right now, they can just keep pushing it. But at some point, and the snapback's going to be fast, Dave. It's literally, it can happen at any day. But the problem is that people are now like trying to front run it. And those people are getting what's called run over, because there's these options that basically overwhelm people that are trying to start to short the market. So those people have to walk away from the market because they got burned. And once there's nobody else that thinks it's going to go down that has any kind of size, then the market rolls over hard. And look, and it can start tomorrow. All the Fed has to do is say they're going to taper, and nobody else can buy the bonds. The yields start going up. Then it's going to hit the stock market, but then it's going to absolutely crush the consumer. It's going to crush the real estate market, because the reason why it's been going up every month is because of the interest rates are so low. But once you flip that switch the other way, you can't afford the house. And so that's what you have to watch for, Dave. You'll know when this thing's going to happen when you start seeing the yield in the 10-year and the 30-year start to rise on them. Then you know it's over. And but people are gonna get shocked. So we're very careful. We're pretty much out of the stock market, but we're mostly in we're mostly in energy names because energy is going to be impervious to this. They're not producing enough of it. And we're going into an extremely cold winter in Europe, in China, and in the United States. And we're going in with a deficit. Saudi Arabia just announced today they can't produce enough oil. Russia announced last week they can't produce enough natural gas. Prices are going to keep going up. So I'm going to own the things that are probably going to go higher, Dave, and then I'm going to outrun this inflation. And then once it rolls over, then inflation will die because basically nobody can afford to buy anything. So things will be sitting on the shelf.
You know, I saw a commercial the other day for the Mercedes fully electric car. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm looking at these empty car lots now, like they've stopped manufacturing. It's almost like they've stopped all manufacturing of gas powered cars. It seems like to me, I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow. And they're blaming it on these chips, this and that, which I'm sure that's part of the artificial engineering as well. But I saw the Mercedes with the first, it's like a Tesla, right? All, you know, electric car. What about, how do you invest in that? Like, is that that's obviously going to be the next thing? That's where they're pushing us. That's where they're taking us. And they're going to be the global tax, which will be taxing you by the mile if you have a gas powered car. Am I right in saying that? Am I on, am I my fingers on the pulse?
Because you don't go to a gas station. A lot of these electric names have already shot up. We've been buying some clean energy stocks here and there, you know, basically anticipation of Biden getting this infrastructure bill passed, although he's having a lot of trouble with it. But don't discount the fact that we may go to a hydrogen car versus an electric car. Look, Europe can't go all electric. People live in, you know, places where they can't plug their car in overnight. You know,
right? So, but they're pushing us toward. But I mean, does that even matter? Because they're pushing us towards this great reset, which I think that it's kind of like where the cookie crumbles, it crumbles. It's kind of like it is going to be what it is, and they are pushing us towards this electric cars, and they're going to make it very hard for people to own gas-powered cars or anything like that. So, how do you?
Well, they're going to go, but what hydrogen is alternative to gasoline.
Okay.
So. Yeah, and it's going to be made by nuclear power. France just made a commitment to it, and England just made a commitment to it. So we know hydrogen's coming. So that's where I'm going to be looking. I'm not going to try to chase the Teslas of the world out there. That stock is so overvalued, it's scary. But there's going to be hydrogen cars out there. If people want to play the hydrogen game, platinum and palladium is where you want to be, because that's the catalyst for to make the chemistry happen. So that's where you're going to look. Look, 25% of Europe's GDP is car manufacturing. These people are stupid, but they're not suicidal. Okay. And a lot of very, very, very rich elite Europeans own the automotive sector in Germany and France. And so, you know, you can't have 25% unemployment in Germany. That's how you get Hitler. So they can only push this agenda so long and so hard before it comes reverbing back on them. And England just made a decision. He saw that Boris Johnson thought he'll lose power next year if he didn't turn around what's happening in energy. People can't heat their homes this winter, Dave. Okay, that hungry and cold people do not listen to politicians. They go out and kill politicians. So,
right.
So he's saying, I'm going all nuclear. So that's why I said, look, I'm just watching where it's going. I'm nuclear. I'm hydrogen. You know, if you're worried about food, you buy fertilizer stocks, you buy grocery store stocks. All those things are going to be fine. You just stay away from everything else, and you're gonna do okay. And look, on the personal side, look, we're gonna have to go through this pain. I don't know any way around this. The people have to see for themselves that what these people are doing to them is not for the greater good. It's for their own good. And enough people need to tilt. And we're gonna get a first taste of it tonight. You know, you and I are talking on Tuesday. I'm not sure when you're going to post this, but the election in Virginia is going to be something to watch. You know, if Youngkin's able to pull that thing off, I think it's going to, it's going to set people's hair on fire.
Set the pace
on the left.
Yeah, it's going to set the pace. It's going to show people I'm watching that closely. I'm very interested in that. Wow. I still just don't trust I
don't either. People keep saying he has it in the bag. I'm like, guys, how can you say that after just what happened to Trump?
Yeah.
said,
How
you,
can
you're just
anybody
gonna
say
have to,
that?
they're gonna have to overwhelm the system. But the interesting thing about that election, because I was just there last week for a whole week in Virginia, and Youngkin has a lot of enthusiasm behind him right now. Nobody's going to any of Terry McAuliffe's events. He's canceling them. He's doing these stupid stunts now. But he did hire this lawyer. That's the lawyer that caused Trump a bunch of grief. This is like the guy that that a lot of people accuse of being behind some of the cheating and the scandals of the last election. So we're gonna have to, look, it all comes down to Fairfax County. And if Youngkin could keep his lawyers engaged there to keep the cheating down to a minimum, then I think he has it. Look, people are pissed off, when you tell Mama Bear that she can't decide what her kids are taught, she can't pay for food, her kid can't go to camp, your kid has to wear a mask all day. The Democrats have lost the suburban mom vote. And I think that's deadly to them. We'll just have to see that if that overwhelms the cheating that they're able to do. Look, they only have one trick in the book, Dave, is that they have to agitate the black vote, right? Everything out of that guy's mouth is racism.
Yeah.
Racism.
They play the black population like a cheap fiddle, man, these politicians.
And I don't know why they just keep falling for it all the time.
I don't get it.
The Hispanic community is already over it, as more than I would. But they're already over it. They're like, hey, I want a better life for my family. I'm not buying into this stuff. I want to own your home, Bob, when you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to burn your neighborhood down.
Yeah, right. No, agreed. And I'm right here in El Paso, and even the people in Ciudad Juarez are like really pissed off that all these immigrants are coming through their city. And the problem is the cartels are also involved in this, making a lot of money funneling these people through into our country. And the people that live in Juarez, Ciudad Juarez, and Chihuahua, they're very mad. They're very angry that they're watching their city as well get taken over.
Yeah, I mean, look, their hospitals are overwhelmed, their schools are overwhelmed, crime goes up. They got competition for the job at the lower end. I mean, there's no upside for them whatsoever. And then they're told, well, you have to do this because white people are racist. I'm not worried about the Hispanic community. Totally integrated, same values as the rest of America. And so the Democrats only have the black vote, Dave. And
right. And that's what they prey on. They prey on the blacks.
Hard.
The cat's out of the bag. I know a lot of blacks that voted Democrat that are now like, no way. I'm seeing right through this stuff. A lot of them are waking up, especially with what they're. And I guess that's the whole purpose of why Trump stepped away from what I understand the Insurrection Act. He stepped away to let this play out, to let people see what they're up to, what they're doing.
Yeah, look, I have a phrase that I use. I guide my life by this. Things don't matter to people till they matter to people. So you and I could talk to people till we're blue in the face, but if they're not living it, to them it's just an academic conversation.
Yeah.
But once they live it, you got them. And I think that's what's happening this year. I think that's what's happening with the schools, and that Loudoun County is, or Loudoun, however they say it up there, is very blue. Okay. And those people there are livid, because basically they voted in a bunch of left-wing crazy people as their school boards. And this is what they got. They didn't think anything of it because, all the platitudes all the time, Dave. Oh, it's for the kids. We're going to make sure there's equality. We're going to make sure the kids are learning in a wonderful environment. Then they get these people in charge and they become monsters. They become presidents of the homeowners association, and now you have you have to wear a mask, you have to be jabbed, you can't tell us what to do. We're not interested in what you have to say, and then all of a sudden we're like, whoa, you work for us. Oh, by the way, your trans kid can go rape this other person's daughter. We'll just hide it. It's not your damn business,
Right. And I've been seeing a lot of that, a lot of the, and now they're being threatened with domestic terrorism. This is insane. And this is how they cover.
You tell a mom that if you push back on me, I'm going to stick the FBI on you. You just made her doubly mad.
Right.
Yeah, you put those people on trial. Good luck.
I sure, the guests that I've had, like 107 and I just had Patel Patriot on talking about devolution. Wow, that was an amazing interview. You haven't seen it, you got to watch it. I really hope that's what's happening right now, man. I really hope there's a plan behind the scenes, because our country's done if this continues. It's over. We're Venezuela. It's over. To me, what I'm watching right now is the crash of the fall of America.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more confident. I just think the great pushback hasn't yet really. It's just starting to roll down the hill.
Right. And what I'm saying is, the way this is playing out, there better be a plan.
Yeah.
There better be a plan.
Well, all I can do is trade and try to stay ahead of it, Dave, and take care of my family. So,
well, I love you, Bob, man. Thanks for coming on. And where can people find you? It's Trade Genius. Go ahead.
Yeah, tradegeniusacademy.com or tradelikeagenius.com. And we trade stock market. We trade the crypto market. We have bundles that we put together for your listeners. We've had a few come over, now that we've been doing this, Dave, and I think that they're pretty happy with what we're doing. And we bundle these things to 65% off. And you can pick one of 7 bundles, or you can just pick anything in the store. Use promo code FALL and get 40% off anything that's not bundled. But you got to take advantage of it by Saturday. So I don't know what that is, November the 6th.
Okay.
And come join us. We'll help you through this maze and malaise that's coming, because there's always opportunity to profit if you're paying attention.
Well, Bob, thank you for joining me. I'll be premiering this tonight. So, let's see what happens with the Virginia race. That's interesting.
Yeah, if Yunkin wins, I'll text you tomorrow. We can celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Bob. Take care of yourself.
Dave. Thanks for having me.
You got it.